when she August Alsina.
Ooh, man.
And when I introduced them, that was one of the worst things I ever did. Somehow within that relationship, I lost my husband to Dwayne Martin, and they became better friends than what me and my husband did, and I couldn't understand that for the love of God. He became disrespectful with introducing my husband to different women, and women that we actually knew as friends and associates.
Jada Pinkett Smith just hit up another podcast, and yep, she's airing Will Smith out again. This time, she dropped a wild bomb. She straight up confirmed the long-running whispers that Will and Diddy had a secret thing going on, and they allegedly hooked up more than once. Jada didn't hold back at all. If there's one thing Jada never fails to do, it's spill private business that makes Will look bad. Real bad. And from the way she's talking, it looks like her and Will's rocky marriage is hanging by a thread. She claims this wasn't just a one-time fling either. According to her, Will and Diddy have been linked for years, and guess what? She's saying there could be actual videos of their private moments. That's right, Jada says she's got the receipts and not just text or hearsay. She's allegedly sitting on graphic details and possibly footage of what really went down between Will and Diddy. And here's the twist. She might even be using it as leverage, threatening to leak it if certain things don't go her way. What is even happening? And it gets even messier. She hinted that Will and Diddy may have been involved in some shady stuff together. Things that could hurt their reputations if it ever got out. And yeah, she allegedly exposed Will as being Diddy's bottom during all this. That's some seriously wild talk, and it's like Jada's on a mission to completely destroy Will's image, and she's not holding back one bit. With Diddy already caught in legal mess right now, you'd think she'd chill out and stay quiet. But no, she's doubling down. And if what she's claiming is true, the drama between Will, Diddy, and Jada is about to hit a whole new level. Jada's now saying Diddy might be the real reason her marriage to Will hit the rocks. Will and Diddy go way back. Their friendship was once seen as a rare positive example of two successful black men supporting each other in Hollywood. Fans looked up to them like they were friendship goals. But behind all the smiles and public praise, there was allegedly something way more personal going on. Jada claims their so-called friendship crossed the line into something intimate. And how does she know? Word is, she actually caught Will and Diddy in the act. That moment, according to her, shattered everything. From that point on, their marriage was never the same again. Now it makes sense why she's been on this relentless mission to tear Will down in public. It's like she's out for revenge, and she's not playing nice about it. Jada's been dragging Will through the mud, and she's been doing it loud and proud. This all kicked off back in 2020 with that whole entanglement mess, remember? That drama exploded online when singer August Alsina, who was once super close to the Smith family, revealed in an interview that he and Jada were in a full-blown romantic relationship for years. And the plot twist? He claimed that Will knew about it and had even given them the green light.
I actually sat down with Will and had a conversation. He gave me his blessing. And I totally gave myself to that relationship for years of my life, you know? And I truly and really, really deeply loved and have a ton of love for her. I devoted myself to it. I gave my full self to it.
You and I were going through a very difficult time.
Yeah.
And we decided...
I was done with your ass.
Yeah, you kicked me to the curb.
I was done with you.
Yeah.
Marriages have that, though. Marriages have that.
Yeah, we basically... we broke.
That revelation had everyone spiraling, trying to figure out what was really happening behind the doors of the Smith home. The internet went wild, dissecting every detail, and suddenly, that perfect picture of Will and Jada's marriage, it started to fall apart fast. And now, with these new claims about Will and Diddy, things just keep getting messier. The fallout from that entanglement reveal was crazy. Everyone had something to say, and while both Will and Jada got dragged, Jada definitely caught the most heat. According to August Alsina, their relationship kicked off back in 2016 when he was just 23, and Jada? She was 44. That alone had folks raising eyebrows, but it wasn't just the age gap that made things uncomfortable. At the time, August was staying with the Smiths and going through some heavy personal and health struggles. To make things even messier, he was super close with Jaden, which made it all feel real off to people watching from the outside. But things really blew up when Will and Jada brought it all to the Red Table Talk. Yeah, that show. Will sat there with Jada and tried to clear the air, but he flat out denied ever giving August any kind of blessing, even though August swore he did. Jada explained the whole situation went down while she and Will were separated, and once they decided to work things out again, she claimed it ended. And then came the now famous moment when she admitted she had an entanglement with August. The internet lost it. People were breaking down every second of that talk, and like before, Jada got roasted the hardest. From that moment forward, things between her and Will were never seen the same again. People kept calling their relationship toxic and dysfunctional, especially because Jada didn't stop making shady comments about their marriage. The more she talked, the more it sounded like she didn't even want to be with Will. One of the biggest jaw-droppers? Jada revealed she never even wanted to marry him in the first place.
You know, I think from there, you know, as time went on, I got into a different kind of entanglement with August.
I really didn't want to get married, but
We only got married because Gammy was crying.
I was under so much pressure, you know, being a young actress, being young, and I was just like pregnant. And I was just like, I didn't know what to do. But I just knew, I was like, I never wanted to be married.
She said the only reason she went through with it was because her mom pressured her into walking down the aisle. That confession alone had people questioning everything. Then came the moment that had everybody shaking their heads, when Will opened up about planning this massive, over-the-top 40th birthday bash for Jada. He said he spent years putting it all together, hoping it would lift her spirits since she was dealing with a midlife crisis at the time. He really thought it would show how much he loved her. But instead of being touched by the gesture, Jada shut it down hard. She said it felt like a performance made for his ego, not something that was truly about her. And when that clip hit the internet, fans were not having it. People couldn't wrap their heads around why Will kept doing the most for someone who barely seemed to appreciate it or even want it. And it didn't stop there. Jada also made headlines when she pretty much implied that Will wasn't cutting it in the bedroom. Yep, she stirred the pot again. To be fair, she later tried to clear it up, saying, "Only because I got time today. Stop making up headlines. Watch the red table talk I did with Paltrow for yourselves. Will and I never had an issue in the bedroom. Thank you." But by then, the damage was already done, and folks were already side-eyeing the way she kept putting Will on blast. A lot of people felt like she was intentionally embarrassing him over and over again. And it wasn't just the interviews, it was the way she'd start filming him when he clearly wasn't comfortable. You could see it on Will's face. He looked tight, frustrated, even annoyed, but she'd keep the camera rolling anyway. Then she'd say slick stuff on camera, post it online, and act like it was normal. Fans were watching all this unfold in real time, and they were not impressed. People had already been saying Jada wasn't showing Will much respect, but things hit a whole new level when an old letter from Willow to Tupac resurfaced online. It was deep, personal family stuff, but what really had fans talking was how it showed just how strong Jada's bond with Tupac still seemed to be, even decades after he passed. According to reports, Willow wrote this letter when she was just 11 years old. It said, "Dear Tupac, I know you're alive in some place. I think my mommy really misses you. Can you please come back? Can you come back so mommy and me can really be happy? I wish you were here. I really do. Love, Willow." That hit hard, and not just for fans. For Will, that letter was like a dagger. He's openly admitted over the years that he always felt insecure about Jada's connection with Tupac. They had a deep bond before Tupac died, and Will said it messed with his head. He felt jealous and unsure of where he stood in Jada's heart, even all these years later.
The day after her 37th birthday, I hired a team to orchestrate her 40th birthday. I hired a documentary team. I traced mommy's family roots. Her 40th birthday was going to be my thing.
It was going to be a splash.
It was going to be a splash. Mary J. Blige performed. I debuted the film, all of that. It was going to be the thing that lifted her out of this midlife crisis, and it was going to be my deepest, most beautiful proclamation of love. And she's told me that the party was the most ridiculous display of my ego.
Ooh.
Crushed. Right? And to this day, I know I was crushed because it was true.
So when that letter popped up, it reopened old wounds and made things even more awkward. Folks couldn't believe Willow felt the need to write that, and it made people start questioning how much Tupac's memory still controls things in Jada and Will's world. Now let's be real. Jada's obsession with putting Will in uncomfortable spots has been going on for a minute. But get this. She also said Diddy was the first person to step in and calm Will down backstage at the 2022 Oscars after he slapped Chris Rock. That's when fans started connecting even more dots. See, the whispers about Will and Diddy have been floating around for years. And things got extra suspicious when Diddy's ex-bodyguard came forward and accused him of going to secret parties with Will, parties that weren't just about business. That old rumor flared up again, and with all the new drama Jada's been spilling, it's starting to sound less like gossip and more like hidden truth. Another one of Diddy's ex-bodyguards came forward and exposed him again, this time claiming he was involved in some intimate moments with another well-known rapper. And right after that dropped, people instantly started pointing fingers. A lot of eyes turned to Will. Now, in case anyone forgot, before Will Smith blew up as a movie star, he was deep in the rap game. He wasn't just playing around either. He won 4 Grammys in rap categories. So yeah, he had real bars and real respect. That's why when rumors about Diddy hooking up with a famous rapper hit the streets, folks couldn't help but wonder if Will was the one being talked about. And that's when the internet really started connecting dots, thinking maybe Will and Diddy had way more going on behind closed doors than anyone guessed. For Will, it was beyond embarrassing. And Jada? She caught serious heat again for constantly putting him in situations that had him trending for all the wrong reasons. People were dragging her left and right until Jaguar Wright jumped in with a whole new twist.
You know Esther Perel is coming to the table. She's going to be at the red table. Would you say she has been instrumental in you and I redefining our relationship?
I would say don't just start filming me without asking me.
Oh my goodness.
If you could film me.
Esther, come help us again, please. I'm still dealing with foolishness.
Because she don't just...
Would you say that she helped us heal the hurts that we caused between one another?
My social media presence is my bread and butter, okay? So you can't just use me for social media and not, don't just start, I'm standing in my house. Don't just start rolling.
Please watch us stare at the red table because she's helped us a lot. Can't you tell?
Were you ever jealous of the love Jada had for Tupac?
Yeah.
Oh
my God, that dude! And that was in the early days. But she just loved him like he was the image of perfection. But she was with the Fresh Prince, So it was like I never could, like, even we were in a room together a couple times. I couldn't speak to him, and he wasn't going to speak to me if I wasn't going to speak to him.
Really?
But
It seemed like y'all would have so much in common.
No, that's what Jada would say all the time. She was like, "I'm telling you, y'all are so similar. You will love him." And I just never, that was a huge regret of mine. I just didn't. I couldn't handle it. I was the soft rapper from Philly, and he was Pac.
Right.
She claimed Jada's entanglement with August Alsina wasn't just messy, it was a straight-up power move to get back at Will. But then it got real dark. Jaguar didn't stop there. She went on to claim that both Will and Jada are bisexual and allegedly involved in some shady situations with young male artists in the industry. According to her, August wasn't the only one caught up in something with the Smiths. She even said some of these young men left their house visibly shaken, with a few of them reportedly screaming as they ran out. And just when you think it couldn't get messier, more people started calling out Will, saying he's been living on the down low for years. Even more disturbing, there are claims, serious ones, that Will may have allegedly crossed lines with younger men in the industry. It's a lot to take in, and the streets haven't stopped buzzing since. Even though nothing's ever been confirmed, these whispers have been floating around for years. And in 2023, Jada dropped another shocker. She revealed that she and Will had actually been separated since 2016. While some folks were surprised, most people just nodded like, yeah, that tracks, because their relationship had looked messy for a long time. There's always been talk that their marriage was more of a front, mainly to cover up Will's alleged secret lifestyle. So when Jada came out with that info, it just made those rumors louder. But things really spiraled when Will's former bodyguard, brother Bilal, aka Al, came out swinging with some jaw-dropping claims. He didn't just hint, he went all in. He alleged that Diddy and actor Dwayne Martin had a thing going on, but what really sent the internet into chaos? Al said he personally walked in on Dwayne allegedly bending Will over during a hookup. Wild doesn't even begin to cover it. Now, rumors about Will and Dwayne have been around since way back in the 90s when they got tight during the Fresh Prince era. Their bond was strong, and Dwayne even got close with Will's first wife, Cherie Zampino. Here's the twist. It was actually through Dwayne and his then-wife, Tisha Campbell, that Will met Jada. That intro would eventually lead to Jada becoming Will's second wife. At the time, Will was still married to Cherie, but according to some insiders, Dwayne allegedly had no problem stepping over boundaries. Word is, he might have even played a part in Will and Cherie's split.
Bill and Chris, we're gonna solve that like family at the gold party, okay? But right now we're moving on with love. Everybody make some noise.
Before that she was at a party before that they attended and you said the party was weird. Tell me about that.
I guess that's what Tupac was talking about, the Illuminati and shit. It's like Vivica Fox was with this big gay man. He was 6'9". They called him, his name 6'9". He had the red hair with a big old booty and nobody was gay no more. What the f is going on here? It's just a lot of weird dude, you know what I'm saying?
Some folks believe Dwayne wanted Will all to himself. And the wildest theory? That setting Will up with Jada was part of the plan. Their marriages, according to whispers, were just a cover while something deeper and more secret was happening in the background. And just when you think it can't get more tangled, it does. This wouldn't be the first time Dwayne Martin was accused of stirring up drama in someone else's marriage. Actress Lisa Ray McCoy once publicly called him out, saying he played a part in ruining her relationship. According to her, Dwayne had a bad habit of introducing her husband to other women, which eventually led to their breakup. She basically said he was out here acting like some toxic matchmaker. But here's where things get even wilder. Dwayne didn't just cause tension in Lisa Ray's world. Word is, he tried to stir the pot in Will and Jada's marriage too. According to insiders, Dwayne was spending way more time with Will than Jada ever liked. They say Will was kicking it with Dwayne so much that it started putting real strain on his home life. Allegedly, Jada couldn't stand how close they were. She felt like Will was flaunting the friendship in her face, taking Dwayne on lavish vacations, chilling with him daily while she stayed home feeling left out. And here's the kicker. Jada reportedly believes Dwayne was Will's original down-low boyfriend, before Diddy even came into the picture. But wait, it gets even messier. In 2012, court docs surfaced claiming Dwayne blackmailed Will for $1.4 million. That's right, these two were supposed to be tight, but why would Dwayne be pressing Will for that kind of cash? Rumor has it Dwayne had some serious dirt on Will and threatened to expose him if he didn't pay up. Allegedly, Dwayne was facing foreclosure and used the scandal as leverage to secure the money. Sources say Will was stressed, realizing how bad it would look if people found out he cut that kind of check for Dwayne. His team jumped into action fast, reportedly warning Dwayne's camp that any leak would spark both a PR and legal disaster for Will. That $1.4 million, it wasn't just hush money, it was damage control, and it shows just how deep this whole situation really goes. We're not talking pocket change here. $1.4 million is serious cash. But let's be real, Will Smith's been sitting on serious money for years. So why was he jumping through hoops to hide the fact that he helped out a longtime friend like Dwayne Martin? Something ain't adding up, and it's starting to smell like a full-blown cover-up. To make it even more suspicious, reports say that during the legal mess, Dwayne was asked to hand over his laptop, but he straight up refused. His reason? The laptop supposedly had private photos and confidential convos with public figures that had nothing to do with the case. That raised a lot of eyebrows. What kind of private stuff was he trying to keep locked up? And just when things were already shady, Diddy's former assistant came through and spilled even more tea, claiming Diddy and Dwayne were getting way too cozy, not just hanging out, but allegedly doing the most in public. Yeah, out in the open. The streets couldn't stop buzzing after that, and it's giving, oh, so you doing the bending now? Who's doing the bending? The whole situation is spinning out of control. But hold on, it doesn't stop there. Jada's now going full force with a wild claim that's got everyone shook. She's allegedly saying that Will helped Diddy do horrible things to young boys. That's serious, especially since Diddy was already being looked at by federal agencies over disturbing allegations involving minors. According to court records, during a federal debriefing, former music manager turned drug kingpin James Roseman was grilled about the private lives of several entertainers, including whether Diddy was involved with underage boys. That alone was wild. But now Jada's supposedly adding Will's name to that mix too?
So many surprising things in the book, but the thing that surprised me the most, that I actually had to reread it because I said, is this true?
Right.
Was that in 2016, you and Will decided that you were going to live completely separate lives.
Yes.
It was not a divorce on paper,
right,
but it was a divorce. So from the year 2016, which is 7 years ago now,
yes,
y'all have been apart.
Yeah.
And weight gain. So 3 minutes later, after them telling me, hey, you got eyes on Will, we need him to come watch this. So I'm running all over the studio. He's not in his dressing room. I go to the cafeteria. I'm like, but I see his car there. I'm like, where's this guy at? This is unlike him, right? So, all right, I open the door to Dwayne's dressing room, and that's when I see Dwayne and having a with Will.
Let me process that for a second.
There was a couch, and Will was bent over on the couch, and Dwayne was standing up, killing him.
If true, this takes everything to a dangerous new level, but it also begs the question, why is Jada choosing now to drop all this? What's her real motive behind airing out these dark secrets? The drama is messy, and her angle's looking shady. Now fans are running with one wild but interesting theory. What if Jada secretly wants Will gone for good? Like, out the picture completely. See, Will's been loud and clear over the years. No matter how bad it gets, he's not divorcing Jada. He said it straight up before, divorce is not an option. In his own words, he said, I stood up in front of God and said, till death do us part. So there's two possible outcomes. Either we stay together until one of us dies, or I'm dead. And Jada, she recently doubled down on that too, saying she also made a vow to never get divorced. But fans think all this "we're never getting divorced" talk is just a front, because the real reason they're still stuck together might be about money. Yep. Turns out Jada just revealed that she and Will never signed a prenup when they tied the knot. She said, "Weddings are beautiful, but they can be very romanticized. I feel like that moment was real for us, to look each other in the eyes and say no matter what, we'll figure it out. That's why we didn't need a prenup, because we promised divorce wouldn't be necessary." But fans aren't buying it. The streets are speculating that Jada's been publicly dragging Will for years on purpose, trying to push him over the edge so he'd be the one to file for divorce. Since Will refuses to let her go, folks think she's been slowly turning up the heat, hoping to break him down emotionally and force him to walk away. But here's the thing, Will hasn't cracked. He's been standing strong through every humiliation, every interview, and every shady comment, and that's exactly why people think Jada keeps going harder and harder, trying to hit that breaking point. So now it looks like this messy saga is less about love and more about trying to trigger a divorce without having to ask for one. Y'all, this situation is beyond toxic. It's a hot, stinking mess. What do you think about all this? Drop your thoughts below and make sure you check out the next video. It gets even crazier.